India, beyond its mesmerizing landscapes that captivate millions, also harbors tales of crime and darkness that most travelers never see. Today, we'll delve into the hidden corners of this subcontinent, revealing the dark truths that often remain untold. Don't miss this video because what you discover might change the way you perceive India forever. And hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button so you never miss our next adventure. Welcome to the Eagle Discovery Channel. 10. The unseen world of prostitution in rural India. When one thinks of India, images of vibrant festivals, ancient temples, and spiritual practices often come to mind. But beneath this colorful exterior lies a darker reality that is rarely seen by outsiders. In the remote, poverty-stricken villages of India, particularly in regions like Rajasthan, prostitution is not just a last resort, but a way of life for many families. This hidden industry operates in the shadows, affecting millions of women and girls who are forced into this brutal existence. In some of these communities, the practice of selling one's body has become so ingrained that it's passed down as a family tradition. Young girls, dressed up and paraded in public, are compelled to engage in prostitution to provide for their families. The underlying causes are deeply rooted in poverty, lack of education, and severe social inequality, with little access to basic necessities like healthcare and education. The absence of these critical resources leaves families with few options, pushing them into the clutches of this exploitative industry. Adding to this tragedy is the pervasive issue of human trafficking. Girls are often lured with false promises, abducted, and sold into prostitution rings, where they face unimaginable abuse and exploitation. These criminal networks are protected by corruption and are nearly impossible to escape. Despite their dire circumstances, many of these women hold on to the hope of a better future. But escaping from the chains of poverty and the criminal networks that control their lives is an uphill battle. The question we must ask ourselves is, how can we, as a society, intervene? What can be done to break this cycle of exploitation and give these girls a chance to reclaim their lives? 9. The stigma of menstruation, a hidden struggle. In the vibrant yet complex society of India, a natural process like menstruation is shrouded in layers of taboo and silence, especially in rural regions where traditions dictate daily life. For many young girls, their first encounter with menstruation is not just a physical change, but an emotional upheaval filled with confusion and fear. With little to no education on the matter, the sight of blood is often met with panic and shame. According to a UNICEF report, a staggering 71% of Indian girls are completely unprepared for menstruation, learning about it only when it happens to them. This ignorance breeds isolation and discrimination. Girls are often ostracized during their periods, forbidden from participating in normal activities, and sometimes even secluded from their families. They are barred from entering the kitchen, touching food, or engaging in daily routines, reinforcing the idea that menstruation is something unclean. The lack of proper sanitary facilities and products in schools exacerbates this issue, leading many girls to miss school or even drop out entirely. This isolation, combined with a lack of support and understanding, turns menstruation into a source of shame and stigma that haunts these young women. Breaking this cycle of silence and misinformation is essential. Education and awareness can empower girls, helping them to embrace menstruation as a normal part of life rather than a burden. Providing access to sanitary products and clean facilities in schools is a crucial step toward ensuring that no girl has to miss out on her education because of her period. As society begins to break down these barriers, we can create an environment where girls are not just accepted, but celebrated for who they are, regardless of the natural changes their bodies undergo. 8. The controversy of toilet paper in India. India's approach to personal hygiene, particularly when it comes to using the bathroom, can be quite different from Western norms. Instead of relying on toilet paper, many Indians, especially in rural areas, use water and their left hand for cleaning after defecation. This practice, deeply embedded in Indian culture and belief systems, is considered by many to be more hygienic and effective than using toilet paper. The left hand is traditionally designated for tasks seen as impure, such as cleaning after using the toilet, while the right hand is reserved for more sanctified activities like eating and performing religious rituals. This distinction has practical implications, particularly in areas where sanitation is poor. In regions lacking proper facilities, the risk of spreading bacteria and disease is significantly heightened, as hands can easily transfer germs to food and other surfaces, leading to outbreaks of gastrointestinal diseases and other health issues. Efforts by the government to improve sanitation through initiatives like constructing millions of toilets across the country have had a positive impact, but changing such a deeply ingrained cultural practice is challenging. Many people remain hesitant to adopt toilet paper, viewing it as less thorough compared to their traditional methods. The debate over the best hygiene practices continues, with health experts advocating for improved sanitation facilities and broader acceptance of modern methods to reduce disease transmission while respecting cultural traditions. Seven, the polluted sacred river. The Ganges River, often called the spiritual backbone of India, holds a place of profound reverence among millions of people. It is believed that a dip in its waters can wash away sins and purify the soul, making it central to the spiritual life of many Indians. However, this once pristine river, stretching over 2,500 kilometers, has tragically become one of the most polluted waterways in the world. It sustains millions, providing water for drinking, agriculture, and religious rituals, but is now choked with industrial waste, untreated sewage, and household garbage. The pollution crisis worsens during pilgrimage seasons when millions of devotees gather to bathe in the river, believing in its divine power to cleanse. Despite the visible contamination, faith in the river's purity remains unshaken for many. The Ganges is inundated with harmful waste daily, leading to severe health risks for those who rely on its water. Decades of efforts to clean the river have shown limited success, hindered not just by the overwhelming scale of physical pollution, but by the deep-rooted cultural and religious beliefs that encourage continued use of its contaminated waters. Addressing this environmental catastrophe requires more than just technological solutions. It demands a shift in cultural attitudes and practices. Education and awareness are crucial in changing how people interact with the Ganges, ensuring that this sacred river can once again flow clean and pure for future generations. 6. The world's largest slum. Nestled in the heart of Mumbai, Dharavi is Asia's largest slum, a place where stark poverty and industriousness coexist within a maze of narrow alleyways and makeshift dwellings. This sprawling settlement, which covers just 2.1 square kilometers, is home to over 1 million people living in conditions that are difficult for outsiders to comprehend. The slum's overcrowded environment, with small, cramped living spaces, offers residents minimal access to essential services like clean water and proper sanitation. The air is heavy with the stench of open sewage, and children playing in the dirt-filled streets is a common sight. Yet, despite these hardships, Dharavi is a bustling hub of economic activity. It is home to thousands of small-scale industries, ranging from pottery and textiles to recycling and leather production, contributing millions of dollars to Mumbai's economy every year. These industries are the lifeblood of the community, providing employment and a sense of purpose amidst the challenging living conditions. However, the residents of Dharavi face significant obstacles. The lack of access to clean water and adequate sanitation facilities results in frequent outbreaks of diseases such as cholera and tuberculosis. The overcrowded housing means that privacy is nearly non-existent, with many families crammed into single rooms that lack proper ventilation and natural light. The contrast between Dharavi's economic vitality and the dire living conditions underscores the complexities of life in one of the world's largest slums. Efforts to improve the quality of life for its residents must address both the physical environment and the economic structures that sustain them, ensuring that the people of Dharavi can live with dignity and security. 5. The price of revealing clothing. In a country where tradition frequently intersects with modernity, the issue of women's clothing has become a significant battleground. While urban areas of India are increasingly adopting Western fashion, this shift is far from universal. In many rural and conservative regions, the way a woman dresses is not just about cultural norms, but is also seen as a critical factor in her safety. India, unfortunately, has one of the highest rates of sexual violence against women and children in the world. In these areas, revealing clothing is often viewed as an invitation for unwanted advances or worse, reflecting deep-seated cultural biases that wrongly place the blame on the victim rather than addressing the underlying causes of violence. Women, especially tourists, are often cautioned to dress modestly to avoid attracting negative attention. This typically means opting for long skirts, pants, and blouses that conceal the body's shape. At religious sites, dress codes become even stricter, with requirements to cover the head and remove shoes before entering as a sign of respect. These guidelines are not just about adhering to cultural customs, but also about ensuring personal safety in an environment where public perception can have dire consequences. For many women, following these unwritten social rules is a necessary strategy to navigate a society where gender-based violence remains a pressing issue. 4. The pesticide scandal in soft drinks. In a country where millions enjoy their daily refreshment through soft drinks, a scandal involving pesticide contamination has significantly eroded consumer trust in some of the world's most renowned beverage brands. The controversy centers around Coca-Cola and Pepsi, two giants in the soft drink industry in India, where independent studies have uncovered traces of harmful pesticides in their products. These chemicals, commonly used in agriculture, are known for their severe health risks, sparking widespread concern about the safety of these popular beverages. The revelation has ignited a firestorm of public outrage, leading to demands for stricter regulations and more robust enforcement of food safety standards. Despite the growing evidence, the companies involved have vigorously defended their products, asserting that they meet all legal safety requirements. However, the scientific findings suggest otherwise, prompting a wave of skepticism and raising serious questions about the effectiveness of regulatory oversight in protecting consumers. This scandal has not only tarnished the reputation of these global brands, but also highlighted the broader issue of food safety in India. As consumers become increasingly aware of the potential dangers lurking in everyday products, the call for transparency and accountability from both corporations and regulatory bodies grows louder. The ongoing debate underscores the need for more rigorous testing and stronger safeguards to ensure that what people consume is truly safe. 3. The tradition of eating with hands. In India, the practice of eating with hands is much more than a mere tradition. It's a cultural ritual that embodies a profound connection between food and the human experience. For many Indians, eating with hands is an intimate act that aligns with the principles of Ayurveda, the ancient Indian system of medicine. According to Ayurvedic beliefs, the hands serve as a bridge between the mind, body, and spirit, enhancing the sensory experience of eating. The fingertips, rich with nerve endings, detect the temperature and texture of food, sending signals to the brain that prepare the digestive system for optimal function. This practice is thought to stimulate digestion and improve nutrient absorption, offering benefits that go beyond the physical act of eating. Each finger is symbolically linked to one of the 5 elements of nature: earth, water, fire, air, and ether, making the act of eating with hands a spiritual connection with the universe. In this holistic approach, food is not just sustenance, but a means of nourishing the soul and maintaining harmony with the natural world. Despite its cultural and health benefits, the practice does raise concerns about hygiene, especially in areas with poor sanitary conditions. However, in many Indian households, especially among the well-off, cleanliness is of utmost importance. Hands are meticulously washed before meals, and food is often served on clean banana leaves or metal plates, ensuring that the tradition of eating with hands is both hygienic and respectful of cultural values. 2. The significance of the red dot, bindi. The small red dot, known as the bindi, seen on the foreheads of many Indian women, is much more than a simple ornament. It is a profound symbol of cultural and spiritual identity. The bindi, which originates from the Sanskrit word bindu, meaning point, represents the third eye in Hinduism, a concept that signifies wisdom, intuition, and the ability to perceive beyond the material world. This mystical third eye is believed to be located between the eyebrows, and placing the bindi at this spot is thought to enhance focus and bring mental equilibrium. Traditionally, the bindi also serves as an indicator of a woman's marital status in Indian society. Married women typically wear a larger, more prominent bindi, often in red or dark colors, while younger, unmarried girls might wear smaller, more colorful versions. During Hindu wedding ceremonies, the bindi takes on additional significance when the groom applies it to the bride's forehead, symbolizing love, commitment, and the bond of marriage. Beyond its personal significance, the bindi has evolved into a broader symbol of Indian culture, recognized worldwide. While it remains deeply rooted in tradition, the bindi has also been embraced as a fashion statement in modern times, crossing cultural and religious boundaries. Whether worn as a mark of spirituality or as a stylish accessory, the bindi continues to be a powerful emblem of identity and tradition in Indian culture. 1. The Temple of Rats. In the quiet town of Deshnoke lies one of the most extraordinary temples in the world, the Karni Mata Temple, more famously known as the Temple of Rats. This sacred site is home to thousands of rats, which are venerated by devotees who believe these creatures are the reincarnated souls of the followers of the goddess Karni Mata. The temple's origins are steeped in legend. It is said that when the son of a Karni Mata devotee tragically drowned, the goddess, in her compassion, brought him back to life as a rat, granting him and his descendants a place of refuge within the temple. From that moment on, the rats have been revered as holy beings, and any harm that comes to them is considered a serious transgression. For many visitors, the sight of rats scurrying freely around the temple is astonishing. These sacred creatures roam the premises without fear, climbing statues, and eating from communal offerings alongside the worshippers. Feeding the rats is not just an act of kindness, it's a spiritual ritual believed to bring blessings from Karni Mata herself. Visitors often walk barefoot through the temple, a gesture of respect for the sanctity of the ground, despite the unusual and, for some, unsettling presence of so many rodents. The temple stands as a powerful symbol of the deep and diverse spiritual practices that are woven into the fabric of Indian culture. The endless enigma of India. India is a country that never ceases to amaze, where every corner reveals a new story, a new contradiction, and a new wonder. It's a place where ancient traditions live side by side with the rapid pace of modern life, creating a tapestry of experiences that are as complex as they are beautiful. From the shadowy truths hidden in its bustling cities to the sacred rituals that have endured for centuries, India is a land that invites exploration and reflection. But these are just glimpses into the vast and varied world that is India. There is so much more to discover, so many layers yet to be peeled back. What have you uncovered about India that has surprised or inspired you? Share your thoughts and experiences with us in the comments. We're eager to hear your stories. And if this journey has sparked your curiosity, don't stop here. Like, share, and subscribe to Eagle Discovery for more deep dives into the world's most fascinating places. Together, let's keep the spirit of discovery alive. Until our next adventure, stay curious and keep the wonder alive.